Aventus inspired fragrances, FragCom's favorite topic to discuss. Of course, you guys all know Creed Aventus, the most popular niche fragrance on the planet, the king of niche fragrances, as you may already know. Smells fantastic with that pineapple birch. It's just a gorgeous, masculine, sexy men's fragrance. Now, being that it's so popular, of course, there are a ton of clones of them out there and inspired by fragrances of Aventus. Now, in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys all the Aventus inspired fragrance that I personally really love. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Yo, what's up guys, Timmy here. Welcome back to another video today. Today we have the best inspired by Aventus fragrances. Yeah, I actually have 4 or 5 here to share with you guys today. And in these 4 and 5 fragrances, I try to have variety in them as well. And now you might be thinking, Timmy, it's an inspired by Aventus fragrance. How much variety can there be? Well, quite a lot. And you guys are gonna see in this list that these 4 or 5 fragrances that I'm gonna talk about, they're all fairly different, even though they're all inspired by Aventus fragrances. Now, before we begin this video, please leave down in the comment section below one favorite Aventus inspired fragrance that you really love. So the first fragrance I'm going to talk about today is from Mancera, and this one is Mancera Cedrat Boisé. Now this I own for several months now, 5 or 6 months, and man, it is super gorgeous. This one is a more woody take on Aventus. It focuses more on the woods, the citruses, not so much the birch. There's no smokiness in here. There's no really kind of a muskiness in here as well. It's mainly the woods and the citruses in this one. And to me, this comes across much more youthful, much more easy to wear, and to me, more consistent in terms of getting compliments as well. Aventus is a little bit polarizing for me, but every time I wear Cedrat Boisé, I feel a slight bit more confidence in terms of getting reaction out of people. So yeah, this one I would say is a much easier to wear version of Aventus, and also it is very affordable. A 120 ml bottle runs you around $80 on FragranceUSA.com. You can go check them out down in the description below. And if you guys do not know FragranceUSA.com, they carry a lot of niche fragrances at very good price, so check them out down below. There's also a code down there for 10% off as well, on top of the already very cheap price of Mancera Cedrat Boisé. You can use that 10% off to save yourself even more money. So yeah, this one, to wrap things up, is a really easy to wear, a little bit more youthful Aventus with a lot more consistency in terms of getting good compliments. So yeah, I like this one a lot. Performance is also really good, forgot to mention that. And with that, we move on to the next one. Next fragrance we have here is from Montblanc. This one is Explorer, the designer level Aventus. And this one, I think, is the cheapest one on this list that I actually have a bottle of. This thing smells really gorgeous. Some of the notes in here: bergamot, ambroxan, akigalawood, vetiver, and pink pepper. Now in the opening, that's when you're gonna get the most of the Aventus with the bergamot, the ambroxan, the akigalawood. It plays a little bit like a fruity batch of Aventus, but after that it dries down to a more ambroxan and woody take of Aventus, if you will. It becomes kind of its own fragrance really the more it dries down. So you really can't say it's a true Aventus inspired. There's for sure Aventus inspiration, hints of it in there in the opening, but after that it does become its own scent, and it is a fantastic scent at that. You can use this in any situation, and for me, the best way I like to use this fragrance is as a dumb reach. Yes, most of our dumb reach fragrances are blue fragrances, right? Shower gel fragrances. Add this thing to your dumb reach collection to add that burst of variety, so you're not just wearing fresh blue shower gel aquatic fragrance all the time. Really like this one, extremely affordable, and if you want a fragrance that's similar to Aventus at maybe like 15% of the price of Aventus and still get really good compliments, still mass appealing, and has its own little twist to it, Montblanc's Explorer is one that I really highly recommend. One more thing about this fragrance as well, it's not boring. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of Aventus clones, Aventus inspired fragrances, and when you smell them, sometimes you feel like, if I already own Aventus, I would just wear Aventus. But this one, and actually all the fragrances that I own in this list, have the same feeling that even though I own Aventus, I really don't mind owning this one and all the other fragrances that I'm about to mention here. Is that they're different enough, they give enough of a different mood, a different character, that it doesn't feel redundant to own this one alongside Aventus or any of the other fragrances alongside. So one of my Aventus horror stories is when I first got Aventus in Thailand for the first time. I bought a bottle of Aventus. I was extremely excited because it was my first ever niche fragrance. I sprayed 4 or 5 spray on in Thailand in the hot, humid weather in Thailand, and I went to see some friends. And as I was with my friends, I noticed they kind of keep their distance from me when they can. I thought, something's wrong here, something's not right. And I already suspected that it could be my fragrance, but I didn't realize a lot later how bad it actually was. So after I hung out with my friends, I got on the Sky Train. So it's kind of like a subway train, but in the sky, you know, Sky Train in Thailand. And it was pretty packed. It was really hot. I was sweating a lot. And I start to notice something sour, something just a little bit rancid. And I noticed that a lot of people were giving me looks like side eyes and everything. And people were looking away from me. And then I realized that, man, that's Aventus. That is Creed's Aventus. And it reeks like crazy. Never have I ever thought about leaping out of a train so much in my life before. So yeah, that's my Aventus horror story. All right, the next two that I have are kind of like honorable mentions since I don't own them. First one is Club de Nuit Intense Man. This one is very good in the air, like so good in the air, in fact, that I mistaken it for Aventus once before. So I got in a car with my friend who was wearing Club de Nuit Intense Man. At the time, I didn't know he was wearing that, of course. So I gave him a compliment and asked if he was wearing Aventus. Turns out he was wearing Club de Nuit Intense Man. I was fooled, especially just off that initial blast of smell right when I got into the car. Without having enough time to think, you can easily mistake it for Aventus. And to the common people out there, it smells amazing. You can just get the Club de Nuit Intense Man and just give off that similar Aventus vibe, similar masculine, fruity, fun Aventus vibe. Now, a lot of people have said though that that fragrance smells harsh, and I agree, but that's only when you smell it really, really, really close. It smells absolutely scratchy, trashy when you smell it like that close, but in the air, I'm telling you, smells fantastic. So yeah, that's Club de Nuit Intense Man. Honorable mention number 2 is Nishane's Hasivat. This one is more along the line of a fruity take on Aventus, more gentlemanly though, smoother, more fruity, not a lot of smoke. Even from memory, I don't think there's any smoke in there at all, but it does still have that kind of deep woody tones alongside the fruitiness. So yeah, Hasivat is really good. A little bit pricey. You can find it for $150 or something. Also, FragranceUSA has that as well, but it is a really good inspired by Aventus fragrance. Next one that I actually own is Vanilla Intense by Parfums Vintage. This one is heavy on the vanilla. Smells the most like Aventus, but just amped up the vanilla. Extremely amazing. The one thing that I really like about this one is the performance. This thing performs off my skin like no one's business. Actually, this is the strongest performing Aventus clone that I have in this list. It's just really, really good. I've gotten a lot of compliments from this one, a lot more than some of the ones I already mentioned because of that performance alone. People can just smell it off me much easier. So yeah, Vanilla Intense, if you want a more vanilla focus or gourmand focus Aventus, really enjoy this one. And actually, the only one that I recommend from this house, because all the other ones are kind of like darker Aventus, fruity Aventus. This one is actually a more unique take, all right? More vanilla, I'm all for that. Last fragrance, and this is my favorite inspired by Aventus fragrance because it has a little bit of Aventus DNA, but it's so different. It's so smooth, so different. It's like if Aventus had an older brother or Aventus had like a really cool uncle or something. This one is Morning Chest by Wilhelm Perfumery. Some of the notes in this one, we have galbanum, bergamot, patchouli, ambergris, and leather. This one is a smooth take on Aventus, a smooth, loungy take on Aventus, slightly bit more green with the galbanum. But overall, man, it is so well done. Nicely blended, smooth, attractive, sexy in a really kind of classic gentleman type of way. It's like if Aventus was on a vacation in springtime and is sitting on top of a mansion or something overlooking a large field on a spring morning, playing chess, morning chess. But it gives off that kind of relaxing, gentlemanly, smooth vibe, while still at the same time, mass appealing and sexy. This one I've gotten a lot of compliments from, and it's just man, every time I smell it in the sillage, it's such an amazing, amazing fragrance. I love the vibe that this fragrance gives. It's really like Aventus' sibling in a way, like a straight sibling. It has a little bit of Aventus in there, but it's its own person at the same time. It's its own scent at the same time. My favorite inspired by Aventus fragrance, Morning Chest, Wilhelm Perfumery. Amazing choice. All right, guys, that's it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave down in the comment section below one Aventus inspired fragrance that you really, really, really love. And with that being said, don't forget to check out FragranceUSA.com. I'll leave a link down below, of course, with a 10% off code. So please show them some love. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out and bye.